Rivian is breaking not one but two big promises to its customers, and a few of them are just a little pissed off. And by a little, I really mean a lot. But there's some actual good news on the horizon, which I don't get to say of much of it on this channel, and I want to. So we'll talk about all of those three things, and of course, I will take some live questions from the chat, and we're gonna start right now. Welcome to E4 Electric, where we expose the news behind the headlines, the electric car headlines. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. You click on that subscribe button that looks kind of like this on your computer, and magically you won't miss anything moving forward. All right, so let's talk about Rivian. As you know, I have not been very excited about them this year, even though they were really such a sweetheart of this electric car startups in the industry only a couple of years ago. And I guess they still are. However, this year, a lot of things have gone wrong. But let's talk about the good news first. Again, I don't really get to talk about a lot of good news from Rivian, but it looks like they are actually making the trucks. Unlike Lucid, right? They kind of started at the same time, Lucid and Rivian. But Lucid have not been making their cars. As a matter of fact, Lucid made less cars in Q2 than they made in Q1, believe it or not, but not Rivian. Rivian is actually ramping up their production. They should be approaching about 10,000 vehicles that they've made. And by vehicles, of course, I mainly mean the R1T, the truck that you see here, and R1S, the SUVs, though those are behind. But also they have been delivering the Amazon trucks as well. And those trucks are actually out there delivering actual packages to customers in several states and areas. Not here, unfortunately, but it's been happening. So at least they got that off the ground. They're still behind their goals, but I would say once they're close to 10,000, that's something to celebrate. Now, the reason for that, I think, is the fact that, both Rivian and Lucid has hired executives from Tesla, executives who were there during the production hell. And somehow both brands thought that somehow that production hell is not going to happen to them, even though they hired people who caused the production hell. Now, both of them, as you know, have been going through maybe not the production hell, but the production problems. But it's getting better because in one case, one brand actually does no longer have that person in charge. As a matter of fact, that person looks like quit. They didn't let him go. So not too many kudos to Rivian on that. But Lucid still has one and still having problems. Rivian, kudos to them, hired a former executive from Magna, the brand that's been making electric cars for a long time. For example, Jaguar I-Pace is not made by Jaguar, it's made by Magna. However, it's been a huge success, and Magna is a real electric car and just generally automotive maker. So things have gone much better for Rivian, and kudos to them. Now, before we go any further, of course, a quick reminder that this video is brought to you by CCAN. Time is running out to win a Rivian truck or deluxe Tesla. The climate nonprofit CCAN Action Fund will draw the winner of its annual EV raffle in early September. Barely 1,000 tickets remain, so buy it at evraffle.org or click the link in the description of this video. And by NeoCharge, guess what? The 220 outlet that powers your dryer can now be split to also power EV with the help of the smart splitter, which will automatically switch back to your dryer while you're doing laundry. Get one today and use this discount code in the description of this video. By the way, I don't know if anybody's seen the video from like Tesla Kim. I think it's called now, it's Kim Java. But much like a lot of YouTubers, Tesla YouTubers, she's been talking about Rivian and test driving Rivian. Now, apparently, she, as I think she was posing for a picture, she sat on the roof of a Rivian and cracked it. And she's done it before, and not cracking the roofs, but sitting on a bunch of Teslas and nothing happened. But when she sat on the Rivian's roof, it cracked. And if you've ever seen his videos or her videos or seen her in person, she's a tiny little girl. No, I should say a tiny little woman, because she is fit. So there's no reason for the roof to crack. And apparently there were other people who complain about the same thing. As a matter of fact, from what I understand, when she went to the service center with the owner of the truck, because it wasn't their truck, they couldn't replace it right away because the other roofs, the glass that they had, also cracked before they were even installed. So that is a problem. Anyway, so check out that video. I literally just watched it right before going live, so I didn't even talk to her or ask the permission to use her video. So you should go to her channel and check that out for yourself. Now, let's talk about a couple of broken promises, as I promised I would talk about, because I don't break them. So first of all, the price increase. Now, as you know, there was a big fiasco in the first 2 or 3 months of the year where Rivian decided to raise the prices, including the people who actually reserved them, and the prices were guaranteed. So that wasn't really good. And then they had to roll back because so many people said, wait, what are you doing? Like, we reserved this from the day one, and that the price is guaranteed. So they had to roll back and honor the pricing. But nevertheless, of course, they ended up actually increasing them. Well, guess what? Even with that, they've decided to cancel the cheapest version now, which essentially increased the already increased pricing by over $6,000. And it's not like they've honored that for the reservation holders. They're kind of screwed. They basically have been told, listen, if you still want that version, you can just cancel your order, or you can pay us at least $6,000+ more, and then you will get you'll get your truck at some point. And by the way, I know they have over 100,000 reservations, so the demand is definitely there. Maybe that's why they maybe feel like they can do this, but once again, it doesn't seem like they've learned their lesson from the beginning of the year that your reservation holders are the most important customers because they are already in the queue. They've already put down their money and gave some money to you, and you should really honor that. I don't understand why they keep doing this. This is not helping them. So I don't even know what to say in terms of, do I really wish that they stop doing it? Yes, of course. I think at this point they just need to maybe change direction, and maybe people who are running the company, because I'm not here to, what is it they just hate on Rivian or hate on Tesla or love either one. I don't care about these brands. I don't care about multi-billion-dollar car makers. I care about the customers who pay their hard-earned money to those automakers and make sure that they are not at least being screwed. So that's where I'm at. Now, let's talk about something else, which looks like is being canceled, unfortunately, and it's the tank turn. The tank turn was really exhibited like this really, really big feature. And that the reason I know that, because if you that's right, it really looks very cool. You've seen this video probably many times. They've published it, and it is really cool, right? You see the wheels rotate on one direction on one side, in the opposite direction on another side, and the amazing thing happens. Now, the reason I know this is like the most popular feature is because if you look at their YouTube channel, even now, you will see, if organized by the most popular, you will see that the tank turn has way more views than any other video, and I understand why. It is a really, really cool thing. Now, I did talk to RJ Scarinch, and that was when Rivian was still allowing me to attend their media events. After videos like this, of course, they stopped. But he had, he was very excited about it, and he definitely sounded like this is the feature that they have been working through. Did not really indicate that there's been any sort of issues. With it, he was explaining how this is actually a pretty fun engineering exercise.
Well, the quad motors, 2 motors per axle, 1 per wheel. The big driver on that was to allow us to have precise torque control at each wheel. So every wheel, we're precisely controlling the torque real time. So if there's slippage, if there's snowy conditions, wet conditions, gravel, the vehicle's incredibly stable. But it also opens up all kinds of opportunities in terms of torque vectoring and using differential torque between the right and left-hand sides of the vehicle to create steering moments. So it can make the car feel more agile on and off-road. And really the most extreme embodiment of torque vectoring or using that differential torque between the right and left-hand side is to spin the vehicle. So that, as engineers, we were immediately thinking, boy, that would be a fun thing to do. And as we started to work through the controls, it's a really interesting feature because it requires a really rapid feedback as we start to initiate the feature. So essentially from a standstill, the vehicle in fractions of a second senses the surface friction. So it senses, is it on gravel? Is it on dirt? Is it on road? And it does that by just applying torque to all the wheels. And then once it determines the type of surface it's on, it then enables the feature. So if it's on a gravel or a dirt trail, it allows the vehicle to spin around. If it's on something that's really high friction, of course we could do it, but it's hard on the tires. So we don't enable the feature then.
Yeah, so it seems like everything was just fine, and it really is a really cool feature, and everyone was looking forward to it. Now, Lars Johan is asking in the chat, would this work on a tarmac? It's apparently not going to work really anywhere at this point because, as I'm just about to tell you, it seems that Rivian has decided to just not do it at all. So let's look at the. So here's a patent that was filed actually a couple of years ago. As a matter of fact, around the time when a little after RJ gave me this interview, and if you look at the image that came with the patent, you will see that this is not really a tank turn anymore. As you can see, the front wheels would be turned, let's say in this case to the left, and then the two back wheels will be spun in the opposite direction, which is kind of what happens with the tank turn. So this is essentially what I think this is going to look like. And by the way, I don't know what that person on the right back seat is doing over there, but what it probably is going to look like. Have you ever seen like a cat or a dog that has like the back legs broken or whatever, and they have one of those wheels, right? I feel like that's how this new, I think it's called, what's the official name for it? Front dig mode would work. I think it will just kind of drag itself around, which is still pretty good turning radius, for most, but it's just not going to be as cool. Now, by the way, you've probably seen the tank turn video many times. However, before that, there was this one sort of banned video that I would say, because when everybody started posting it, Rivian, and you're looking at it right now, Rivian actually got a hold of me and I think a few other YouTubers and basically said, no. We don't know anything about this. What tank turn? We don't know anything about it. Just can you please take it down? And even though it really did look like it was produced by Rivian, and it is obviously graphically generated, it is only I think a few months after that they've actually posted the other video that you guys have seen. So I still to this day don't know why they were so aggressive about asking us to take that video down, because it was a really cool video, right? Very well done. I can see it's graphically generated, but nevertheless. Now, so unfortunately, it looks like there will be no tank turn, period, with Rivian. And so it is unfortunate because, they've like that, and maybe the kitchen. I would say kitchen was the second most exciting one, which is being sold and is a kind of a really cool and useful feature. But it looks like the tank turn is going to go away. Now, but with Rivian, there's actually other companies that have already posted their videos of what their tank turn is going to look like. Now, one of them is a BMW. Well, actually, let's talk about the Mercedes first, because Mercedes produced an actual video. It doesn't seem like it's graphically generated of their version of a tank turn. You're looking at it right now, and it's going to be, it looks like they're working on it for their G-Wagon electric version, EQG. This video is almost like stolen from Rivian and just put the EQG prototype in there. But nevertheless, it looks like they are going to take it seriously. And I got to tell you, when say what you want about legacy manufacturers, when they promise something, it is relatively likely it's going to happen. Now, another one came from BMW in just a video where they were showcasing the sporty i4, but there's like few seconds of the video that you're looking at right now where this car makes a tank turn on the asphalt, obviously graphically generated, but looks really cool. So we don't know if this is a promise, but these are the two other instances that I've found out where the tank turn might actually make a debut, where obviously Rivian is kind of giving up on that. All right, so let's bring in Tom Malagli, who have been patiently waiting here. Tom, how are you doing, my friend?
And I also want to point out, Ryan said that you have to pay the $5,000 for the camp kitchen up front. That I think that's how it used to be when he got his truck, because now for my order, the $5,000 has been removed. So I don't have to pay for it up front. The way it was explained to me is if my truck is built in the next couple of months and the camp kitchen isn't ready yet, I'll take delivery, and then it's up to me to order it again, because they've removed it from my order. And then they'll install it. I'll take my truck to the service center and they'll put it in for me. So doesn't seem like it's going to be available anytime soon, or they probably wouldn't have done it the way they're doing it, where they're removing it from your order. So I'm guessing that's going to be something that's not available for quite some time.
Well, and also Ryan, who I would just wish just come in and tell us that in person, says that obviously if you get in the future you can finance it with your vehicle, which is definitely a problem for some. All right, there's a couple of other questions that I wanted to get to,
but one thing I'll make a little point. You say a problem for some. It's an $85,000 truck with the camp kitchen. Okay, I think it's very expensive. If you're spending $85,000 on a truck and you can't spend $5,000 out of your pocket, you probably shouldn't be buying the truck.
I love the we do also give out financial advice here with Tom, and I agree. Like this is I've told people, like, people say, well, not everybody can get $7,500 tax credit. They don't pay that much in taxes. I'm like, oh, okay, well then they shouldn't all buy a brand new Tesla. So absolutely true. All right, really quick, and by the way, thank you so much for putting $20 just to say this from Fully Electric. That's like 2 Chipotle meals. Alex, you can't please everyone, but one thing you should never compromise is telling the truth. Bring the news, and it is nothing more. Thank you, sir. More, please. Yeah, so, I think Tom and you and I talked about this, behind the scene and stuff like that. I don't make the news, but I talk about them. And there's plenty of channels out there who will tell you how amazing Tesla is, and how amazing Rivian is, or how amazing Lucid is. And there are plenty of them there. There are very few channels, and I think by few I mean like one, where I just don't care about these companies. I don't care about Tesla or Rivian and Lucid. I care about people who drive them. And when I feel like they're being shortchanged, it's my job to say that. And not only that, I have sacrificed a lot for this, because as you guys probably noticed, I don't get invited to those big events and media drives or have cars dropped off of my doorstep anymore because of me doing this. All right, now Tom, we only have 20 minutes left, but Jehu is here and I definitely want to hear from him. So if you don't mind, we will catch up on Sunday in our video. I will see you in a few days.
Okay, take care, everybody.
It's time to say goodbye. I will see you guys right here back on this channel at 1 p.m. Pacific time, live next Wednesday. So looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time. And remember to stay charged.